I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine. Please.
She's lied to you. Now you've threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
For any particular purpose? Is it a hobby? Is it a research project? Anything like that?
I don't know yet. At the minute, just sort of flying around, see what happens.
Right. I understand an officer's just tried to have a word with you on the way into the
Well,
car
she sort of shouted at me in a plain clothes personal car, so I didn't have a clue who she was.
Apparently you've told her to pee off.
Did I?
That's what she said to us. If that's the case, that's not acceptable, is it?
Well, that's why we wear independent witnesses that never lie.
Right. What do you mean by that? Right, okay. Well, yeah, I've got mine on as well, so...
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Can I take your details just so we know what you're doing, and you're recorded on our systems, and we've got the fact what you're doing, and to make sure you're not up to no good?
No, I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I just need to make sure that you're not like sort of in line with any terrorist groups or anything like that you could be using for hostile reconnaissance or anything of that nature.
Do you suspect I'm a terrorist officer?
Well, I don't know until I speak to you. Do I until I take your details and check you through.
Is that what you do with everybody?
If you're verbally abusive to people, then you have technically committed a public order offence for which I would require you details.
They approach him already carrying a claim that he swore at the sergeant, and they treat it like a confirmed fact without checking it. News Now Yorkshire does not get drawn into a back and forth, and instead cuts through it by pointing to his bottom-worn camera and reminding them why independent recording exists. That moment is important because it exposes imbalance right away, with one side relying on an allegation while the other has actual footage. Then the situation shifts into something much more serious when he refuses to provide his details, and the justification suddenly turns into checking if he is linked to any terrorist groups. That is not a genuine reason, and it comes across as a way to apply pressure rather than a response based on clear evidence.
That's why I'm asking you for them as well.
Right.
So could I have your name and date of birth and address, please?
What, you think I've committed a public order offence?
Yeah, because an officer's just told me that you've sworn at her in the street.
Well, I need to get her to make that statement then, because she's lying.
Well, she's just told me as she's driven in that you've sworn at her.
Did she?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll be making a complaint about her then.
That's absolutely
fine. And if you
fine.
take my details, I will have to sue West Yorkshire Police.
That's not a problem. You feel free to do so. The reason I've explained the reasons why I'm asking you for your details.
What happens if I don't give my details?
Then you're potentially committing an offence.
Well, I will.
It's a lot easier if you do, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to give my details.
Okay.
I will if you tell me that I'll be arrested if I don't.
Well, potentially you may be. Yeah, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, because your name and address can't be verified.
Right.
And I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
What reasonable grounds is that?
But I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all recorded, officer.
That's fine.
Do you want me to show you the recording?
Not at the moment, but I want.
Because I could show you the recording.
I want you to.
And then you would know.
Details, and I've explained it to you. You've asked me to explain it to you, and I've laid it out simply.
This is the point where the reasoning breaks down completely, because they claim a public order offense has taken place not based on any clear behavior, but simply because the sergeant said it did. When News Now Yorkshire asks what happens if he refuses to give his details, the response loops back on itself and suggests that he could then be committing another offense which might justify an arrest. That is not a solid legal foundation, and it comes across as repeated threats rather than clear reasoning. Music. Bringing up Section 24 pace only highlights the issue further, because arrest necessity must be based on evidence, not on rank or personal convenience. In this situation, the only thing they rely on is a colleague claim, even though footage is available that could resolve everything immediately. They choose not to review it. And that choice is important because avoiding evidence that could clarify the truth raises serious questions about intent and fairness.
I don't think I have to give my details, officer.
You do.
I do.
You've been verbally abusive towards somebody.
I haven't, though.
She's alleging that you have.
I haven't, though.
As I said before, I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed a public order offence.
But I haven't.
Okay, listen to me. Because of that nature, that's why I require your details. And as I've explained to you, if you don't give me your name and address, and can't verify who you are, it may make your arrest necessary in order to ascertain those details.
Will you arrest me if I don't?
I'm not saying I definitely will, but I'm saying it may make your arrest necessary.
Am I being detained right now?
At the moment, because I need your details.
I'm being detained.
Potentially, if you don't give me your details, you may be arrested, is what I'm saying.
No, I just want to check if I'm being detained right now.
I understand why you can't just give me your details.
I'd rather not. That's the point.
But I'm asking you to.
If I have to by law, then I will.
You do have to by law, yeah.
Okay, and what section of law says I have to?
I'm telling you that because you've committed an offence.
I haven't, though.
I suspect that you have.
You suspect that I have?
I suspect that you have.
Okay.
I only need reasonable grounds to suspect. That's 2 to 3 out of 10 on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I've got that reasonable suspicion.
Yeah. Can you let me know that lady's name or collar number?
So she's a sergeant who was off duty at the time, coming into work for whatever reason. I don't know why,
because
but she's a police officer.
lied to you. Now you've threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, okay.
You were right.
They corner him with a manufactured justification by saying if they cannot identify him, then they will arrest him to find out who he is. That is not how arrest powers are meant to work, because it turns the process into a tool for convenience rather than a response to clear evidence. It shows officers deciding they want his details and using the threat of arrest to get them instead of relying on lawful grounds. Arrest cannot exist simply to overcome non-cooperation, and it cannot be based on a single and tested suspicion. At that stage, the idea of reasonable grounds falls apart because it is no longer about reason, but about what is easiest for them in the moment, faced with the risk of being taken in on a circular excuse. He gives his details to prevent the situation from escalating further. This is not because the law demands it, but because pressure has been applied in a way that leaves little real choice. When compliance comes from the threat of power being used unfairly, it is not true consent, it is submission.
I can't believe she lied to you, officer. I have got it all recorded though, just so you know.
You could, if you want to make a complaint.
Yeah, I will be making a complaint straight away. Yeah,
that's not a
definitely.
problem. I haven't got
Is that
any
what she
issue with
actually said to you? I told her to pee off.
As I drove out of the gate, she was driving in and she said, "Will I have a word with it with you?"
Yeah.
Because she'd spoken to you and you told her to. I'm not going to say the full word.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
pee
yeah.
off. You understand what I mean by that?
I understand what you're saying, but she's lying to you. You know that, don't you?
Well, if she's lying to me, she's lying to me. If it's on your camera, then you've got grounds for a complaint.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
but I'm not lying to you. I can only go about.
You know, last time this happened, I got £1,000 for it. You know.
Right.
Yeah. That was at Humberside though.
What was that? What was that in relation to though?
Because someone said I was committing antisocial behaviour, so the officer unlawfully used Section 50 of the Police Reform Act to gain my details, just like you've unlawfully used Section 5 to gain my details.
Okay.
And then they offered me £1,000 for my trouble.
I haven't used Section 5.
Oh, what did you use?
You've potentially committed an offence under Section 4A of the Public Order Act.
Oh, okay. Section 4A.
Yeah.
And that requires me to give my details.
It doesn't require you to give your details.
You just told me it did.
What I'm saying, no, you're twisting my...
The officer keeps falling back on the word potentially as if that alone creates a real offense, and it ends up carrying the entire argument because nothing solid is actually presented. Mentioning Section 4A in this way does not make apply, since it requires clear intent and real impact, not guesswork or vague possibility. What makes the situation worse is how the legal section keeps shifting from one claim to another, which shows confusion rather than clarity. This is not a case of officers carefully narrowing down an offense, but instead scrambling to find something that fits after fact. If there had been a genuine offense identified, the legal basis would remain consistent instead of constantly changing. Music. None of the powers being mentioned suddenly give a lawful right to demand his personal details, which further weakens the position being taken. This moment clearly reflects how uncertainty is being covered with shifting claims rather than supported by famed legal grounding.
What I'm saying to you is because I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
Yeah.
If you don't give me your details, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of PACE.
Oh, okay.
Because your name and address cannot be verified.
Right.
And I suspect that you've committed an offence.
Well, that's the full explanation. Thank you for that.
That's what I said to you the first time.
Well, I didn't get that explanation, so maybe you didn't explain it properly, and maybe I didn't understand.
Well, you understand it now, though.
I do, 100%. Yeah, yes. I can't believe she lied to you, and she's a sergeant. She's going around lying to you guys. Do you want me to show you the video?
No.
Is it because you know that she's lying?
I don't know that she's lying.
I think you know. I think you know. I think you do know.
We're literally just going off what we've been told.
Yeah, what you've been told is a lie, though, is what I'm saying. I could show you the video now and show you that she's lying. What do you guys reckon? Your personal opinion?
My personal opinion doesn't matter. I don't work. My personal opinion has to stay at home when I come to work.
Well, use your detective skills then. What do you think?
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Speaking to you.
Well, yeah, I could have showed you the video.
To find out your version of events.
No, what you're doing is getting my details unlawfully.
Okay. I've already explained to you the reason why.
I could have showed you the video and then you would have no reason to get my details.
If you're happy to show me the video, I'm happy to watch it. It's not a problem.
Well, there's no point now because you've already given my
This is a point where any sense of fairness falls away because he keeps offering the easiest way to resolve everything by simply watching the footage, and they refuse. One officer even admits she is relying only on what she has been told, which is not a real assessment, but blind acceptance. His side is not compared with evidence, and instead it is pushed aside while hearsay is treated as enough. They choose to ignore footage that is available in real time, which suggests they are protecting a version of events they do not want questioned. Then after they've already taken his details, the video suddenly becomes important, and that timing reveals the truth. If the footage truly mattered, it would have been reviewed at the start, not at the end. Watching it last is not proper investigation. It is an attempt to manage the situation after the fact and limit the fallout.
Might as well speak to my solicitor now and get my £1,000.
You've offered to show me the video, then that's fine.
Yeah, and you see that your sergeant's a liar.
Well, show me it if you want to show me it. I'm not bothered.
Am I being detained?
No, you're free to go. Thank you for giving me your details. Just be careful where you're flying it.
No, I won't.
Obviously, bear in mind that side of the gate and the fence is private property.
Oh no, I've already been over there.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over again.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But bear in mind that you may be spoken to again by an officer if it's deemed that your drone's interfering with any police activities or anything like that.
All right, well, I've got permission to be here.
From
the Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, have you got that in writing? Have you got anything on you can show me to confirm that?
Do I need to?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you, am I?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you that your sergeant's a liar.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get drawn into this back and forth with you.
You've already been drawn into it.
I've spoken to you. I've ascertained what you're doing. As long as you're not interfering
what happened
with
to the
police
section
activities,
4A?
That's fine. I'm not going to take any further action against it.
No further action?
Yeah.
Why? Because you know that she's a liar?
I'm going to give you words of advice.
No, I don't want your words of advice.
Well, I'm going to offer you
can
them.
stick your words of advice.
Right, I'm going to offer you them anyway.
No, I don't want.
The moment they obtain his details, the entire situation ends instantly with no offense followed up, no action taken, and no further interest shown. Everything they mentioned earlier about public order terrorism and various legal sections disappears without explanation. That is not a coincidence, because if any of those claims truly carried weight, they would not have been dropped the second the details were secured. A real issue does not vanish that quickly, which shows that the focus was never on resolving a genuine concern. The entire interaction was centered on identifying him, and once the goal was achieved, there was nothing left to pursue. All the legal language used before was not part of a clear process, but a tactic used to reach that single outcome.
I speak to people in future.
But I didn't speak to anybody in any. She's a liar. I never told her to pee off. She's an absolute liar. I will be making a complaint. I will be suing. Thank you very much. What's your details?
6468.
From this station?
Yep.
Your details?
290.
From this station?
Yep.
And her details?
She'll find those out for you. I believe her name's Sergeant Wiltshire, or Wiltshire, my apologies.
Sergeant Wiltshire?
Yep.
And her numbers?
I don't know them.
Well, I need her numbers.
I don't know them.
We'll have to radio through then.
I don't know them.
She's the one that made the complaint. I need to make a complaint about the lying sergeant.
Just ask to speak to Sergeant Wiltshire. She works on Team 4 Patrol South at Ellen Road. That's all you'll need.
Well, can't you just radio through and ask for her details?
No, because she's not actually on duty at the moment, because she was in, as you said, she was in a civilian car in a civilian clothing, so she's...
You could ring the control room and ask what her caller number is.
I can't do that at the moment because I'm too busy, but you've got all the details.
But you weren't too busy to come and stop to talk to me?
Thank you very much.
Yeah? See you later, sausages.
I prefer bacon.
He makes it clear the matter is heading to court because the entire encounter was built on claims that never actually happened. A sergeant says he used abusive language when he did not, and other officers repeat it without checking the footage, while threats of arrest are used to force him a hand over his details. The moment they get what they want, everything else disappears, which shows this is not a simple disagreement, but a misuse of power. When authority relies on a story instead of evidence, then court becomes the only place left to properly address it. When News Now Yorkshire asks for caller numbers, the response is not a direct refusal, but a dismissive attitude, as if providing basic accountability is too much to ask. Just moments earlier, time was not an issue when they were stopping him, questioning him, and pushing for his personal details. That contrast is important because it shows they were active and assertive when seeking information, yet unavailable when asked to provide it in retain. Footage that could clear the claim was ignored, and identification that could support complaint was treated as optional. They escalate quickly, rely on pressure introduced, shifting claims, and continue until they gain compliance. Once that happens, they step back with no action taken, no offense pursued, and no further interest shown, which reveals the true nature of the interaction. If this situation had been about real concerns like public safety, it would not have ended the moment they achieved their goal. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and keep accountability in focus.